Hey everybody, it's Gordon from Turning Stones Fly Fishing. Hey, we're going to tie up a bug. It's one of my favorites. I'm sure everybody's pretty much heard of a Walt's worm. If you fly fished enough, you've definitely heard of that. It's like an old cigar-shaped, drab-looking dubbed body that absolutely just murders fish, and still does, actually. Killer fly. So somewhere along the line, that fly has been dressed up, changed a little bit, and they made it sexy, as they say. They call it a sexy waltz. So I guess you could say that's kind of what I'm going to tie today. It's like a sexy waltz variation. Now mind you, you can tie this thing however you want. You could tie it 50,000 different ways, doesn't matter. Trout love these things. They are freaking killers. Awesome. Awesome bug. This is just one of my favorite ways to toss it. It's got a silver bead. This one I tie anywhere from a size 10 to an 18. This one's a silver bead, 2.5. This is a 16 Hannock jig hook, a 400. The bug itself, the one I'm tying, it's going to have a little hot collar, which we'll talk about later, and I like to use this one kind of like in some murky water. It tends to work better. So here we go. Let's wrap him up. Oops, sorry, getting ahead of myself. I'm retarded. Okay, we're going to use a 16-aught black Vivas thread. That's what we're going to wrap him up with. Okay, next thing I'm going to put on, this is called Sulky. It's like a, I think they call it a silver metallic. Craft store special right here. It's a ribbing. It's flashy. Guys, if you don't have this stuff, you need to go out to the craft store or online, whatever's easier, and buy every color they make, because this stuff is awesome. Sulky. Blah, blah, blah. There it is. Okay, so today I'm going to use it as ribbing. Can't talk. It's going to add like maybe a little trigger to this fly. Just a way for them to kind of pick this one out over whatever else is in the water, which makes sense, I'm sure, to you guys. Okay, so we hook it in. We'll wrap him all the way down here. Okay, right there. Now, we're going to add a little bit of dubbing. This is Black Squirrel, thanks to my good buddy John Dietz, who always kills plenty and sends them to his buddy Gordo, and then I blend them up. You're a good man, John, if you're watching. So it's Black Squirrel. I put a whole bunch of crap in here, a little Antron. There's some synthetic flash fibers in there, a little UV, just to give it a little kick. I like it. The trout seem to like it. Therefore, I fish it. So now what we're going to do means you want to have this body be slightly tapered. So I'm going to start up here, which is going to wrap back towards where the tail would be. Mind you, there's no tail on this, by the way, as you see. Then it's going to be small here and then taper out. Pretty basic. I mean, this is a simple fly. I could have had this tied by now if I wasn't running my mouth. So right now you use very, very, very little, because you want this to be skinny back here. And I can't stress skinny enough. It's very easy, especially when you're first learning, and I am no expert tyer by any stretch. I tie basic flies that are easy, that catch fish. I appreciate all those guys that are realistic tyers. They're awesome. I just don't do a whole lot of that. In the competition world, where I'm one of the coaches on the U.S. youth fly fishing team, we really tie things very basic. We don't want to have to take a long time to tie them, so it's pretty quick. So I'm just wrapping it skinny, like I said. I'm going to wrap it down here a little more. I'm trying to put enough on to where, as I'm building this taper, I might be able to do it in one swipe without having to add more dub later. Okay, so that should do it. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I'm going to line this up to where the dub starts. Light tension. And wrap it up. This is the way I like to do a taper. I just wrap up towards the bead. I try to wrap these tight, side by side. Oh, my dubbing broke loose right there. God. Makes me mad. So while I'm here, I'm going to add a little bit more because I'm going to have to. Little things that drive you crazy when you've tied this bug 1,000 times and then you do that. Okay, so I'm just adding a smidge more, not much. Actually, that's too much. You guys probably can't see it on this video, but Just got a little squirrely with it. Okay, so now it's done. So I'm going to pack this in there a little bit. Now I'm going to go back down, finish that little taper there in the midsection. That's it. Basic. I mean, it can't get any more basic than that, right? I mean, this is the easiest fly in the world to tie. Like I said, if you're actually tying this thing and not blabbing like I am, you'd have had 2 of them done by now. So, grab the rib, start wrapping up. I keep it fairly tight. Oh, I'm not liking the way that's going on right there. It's like getting caught in the hairs. So what I'm going to do, pull this back out. Minor brain fart, no biggie. A lot of times I use the rotary, which I'm going to do this time. Tends to keep everything more uniform, usually. Unless I have another brain lapse here. Okay, so we hang it there. And then you just go side by side, you keep it steady. And just wrap it up. Nothing to it. And if you want a little less flash, you just wrap those a little further apart. No big deal. Like me, like I said, I like to use this actual variation here a lot in stained water, as you'll see here in a minute. Okay, I've cinched it. Boom, cut it off, done deal. Sweet. Okay, now I'm gonna whip it. I mean, that is it. Like, it's that simple. 1, 2, 3. I don't like to use head cement, so I like to do a couple. I get that one, lock him under, do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Hello. It's done. Okay. Now, not quite finished, almost. Now I'm going to get this. I'm going to add this in. This is another trigger. This is the one thing I think that stands out good in that murky water. That dark body first in murky water is good. Then this right here, it's like a chartreuse 16-aught Vivas thread. I'm going to put a little hot collar, or hot spot as we call it. So I'm going to lay it up on there right on top of that. 2 wraps, let it hang. Get the tag, go around one time, then lock it again. That locks it down, so it's not going anywhere. So then you get that little tag, if you can find it. Oh Lord. So get it, cut it off tight. Now you're going to get this, going to make a couple wraps right on top of each other. Going to be your little hot spot. Then you whip finish that. And I try to whip it slow because I don't like a big gaudy, real wide hot spot. Trout honestly could give a crap less. They eat these things. Doesn't matter. It's just my preference. So put it right there. Finish it twice. Slide this under. That rascal is done. Sexy Waltz, whatever you want to call it. I call it a fish catcher. I'm telling you guys, you need nothing in the way of like good materials to tie this. You saw what you need. A hook, some fur, some flash, and some thread, and some beads. I mean, it's just so freaking simple. And I promise you, this thing will catch fish all year long. Not necessarily the shade, depending on where you are, but variations of this. I use easy 3-4 dozen different variations of this, and most of the guys that fish them probably do the same. You just change up the body, different shades, light, medium, dark, beads, silver, copper, black nickel I use. I don't do gold very much. Silver low light, copper high sun, black nickel if they're real spooky, you know. So just mix it up, play around with it, get crazy with it. You're gonna love this fly. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, maybe follow my YouTube channel. I'm gonna start being diligent and posting videos, so I'm gonna keep them coming. So if you like what you see and you're a man or a woman that likes to tie simple flies, then you're gonna enjoy this, because I'm gonna keep them coming. All right, y'all have a good day. Thanks.